don't give me this, we don't have enough resources, or anyone can make a mistake. You wouldn't know a crime if it's staring you in the face. Admit it. You've screwed up on so many cases, it's hard to find out when you didn't. The FBI needs a complete overhaul, a complete cleansing. In any company or organization that runs afoul of its mission or is tainted by corruption and politics, the CEO and the board of directors would go. Likewise, the utter failure of the FBI in September and January regarding shooter Nicholas Cruz is so monumental that the same rule must apply. The killing of young innocents, their teachers and coaches, gunned down in a school, a place that should be a haven in a heartless world, lays at the hands of the FBI. And although shooter Cruz pulled the trigger, the potential slaughter, twice reported to the FBI, could have been prevented had they bothered to lift a finger. A concerned citizen sees this on YouTube, quote, "I want to be a professional school shooter." And that citizen is so alarmed, he takes the time to call the FBI. They take the complaint and do nothing. But after 17 killed and 14 wounded, the FBI has the unmitigated gall to walk up to a microphone and say,
there was not enough PII to positively identify the subject, so it got closed at that point.
Close it out? Say what? You had no further identifying information? Are you not the FBI? There are only 13 Nicholas Cruzes in the country. To support this lame excuse, the FBI trots out messengers briefed with the FBI talking points.
The FBI is very limited in what it can do with this type of information. They're looking for federal crimes that they can prosecute. On its face, this single posting does not give you that. You're not going to be able to take that to a prosecutor and say, if I prove who posted this, will you charge them? The answer is no.
Continues by saying FBI agents, bless them, are working within their guidelines, adding they can't follow someone for protected First Amendment rights. Really? Working within their guidelines? Do the guidelines tell them to ignore school shooters or threats to kill? Isn't the job of an FBI special agent, and by the way, they're all special agents, isn't their job to investigate? You really want to talk about guidelines as we bury our children? A primer. Google, which owns YouTube, removed Cruz's message. The FBI could have issued a preservation order to save the electronic footprint of Cruz. Even if Google deleted Cruz's threat, it would be easy to find him, since YouTube and Google require an email address and cell phone information that allows them to find other postings of Cruz, a pattern of behavior, as well as his IP address. But the FBI does nothing. And now the FBI has the chutzpah to run in front of the cameras with the Broward County Sheriff's Office to, quote, support them and give them every resource they need. How about you assist them before the tragedy? And even more alarming, on January 5th, a call comes in to the FBI's tip line from a person close to Cruz, providing information about gun ownership, his desire to kill people, erratic behavior, the cutting of his own wrist, his dysfunctional home life, eerily predicting the horrific shooting about to occur in 5 weeks. Everyone seemed to know Cruz would do this. Everyone, it seems, but the FBI. And as the outrage mounts, Director Christopher Wray says, we deeply regret the additional pain caused by the FBI's failure to investigate the January tip. You regret the additional pain? How about you regret that you didn't stop the massacre, that you did nothing to prevent bloodshed in a school, that you didn't lift a finger to investigate? Regret? How about you regret the fact that even though you race to the cameras and you think you're the big dogs in law enforcement, you can't even do what any cop from any town in this country would be smart enough to do? And your chutzpah knows no bounds. My sources tell me the FBI had a call with the victims' families to say, we want you to know we're putting protocols in place to make sure this doesn't happen again. You're going to make sure it doesn't happen again? Tell me how that helps me as I bury my child shot in the head, as I look in the bedroom of my child knowing that he or she will never come home again. And now you're going to investigate? If we know anything about you, you're going to lie, deny, delete emails, do anything you need to protect yourselves. I would add one thing to Governor Rick Scott's demand that Director Wray go, and that is that the entire upper echelon, the whole top layer of the FBI, go. For more than 3 decades as an elected DA with my own investigators, I worked with the FBI and watched as they fought real cops to take away our cases. The FBI runs roughshod over local law enforcement in this country, and don't you buy for 1 minute that they are one happy family working with local police. Local police are the real cops, the ones with their ears to the ground and their gumshoe to the pavement. They're the ones who solve crime. And so as hundreds of FBI agents chase Russians to create a non-existent Trump-Russia collusion and work the fake Hillary email investigation, or should I say matter, they ignore credible tips loaded with probable cause. As people like Peter Strzok and Lisa Page carry on their affair thinking they're going to change the course of history, as Andrew McCabe, handling both the Clinton case and the Trump matter, collect hundreds of thousands of dollars for his wife's campaign, real justice is thwarted. And don't give me this, we don't have enough resources or anyone can make a mistake. You wouldn't know a crime if it's staring you in the face. Admit it. You've screwed up on so many cases, it's hard to find out when you didn't. The Boston bombers, 4 people dead with countless having lost limbs or eyesight because of your BS line that the threat wasn't specific enough. The Fort Hood massacre, the Orlando Pulse nightclub shooting, the San Bernardino massacre, the attacks of 9/11. You were involved in every one of them. But you're so territorial, so selfish, so politicized, so focused on headlines, so full of yourselves that you refuse to even share information with other agencies. Even the New York Times says pervert Dr. Larry Nassar was on your radar almost 3 years ago. And what did you do? Nothing. Who did you notify? No one. And it's estimated another 40 young children were victimized by Nassar. And when confronted with this atrocity and blatant disregard for our children, the FBI says the safety and well-being of our youth is a top priority. Really? Try selling that to the grieving families and parents in Parkland, Florida. At least Nassar's victims are still alive. So maybe the FBI thinks they're protecting children. And of course, there are good men and women in the FBI. But they're marginalized. They're not advanced. The power is in the clique at the top. This FBI was stained and politicized by Mr. Holier-than-thou Jim Comey. But the seeds were sowed by former FBI Director Bob Mueller, the one now investigating President Trump. It's time to stop this charade. Time to return the FBI to its original mission.